Hello, my name is Michael Delahanty. I work at Compass, and I was going to give you a brief story. I'm going to make it as brief as I can about a transaction that I had recently with a buyer. Her name is Carolyn. Actually, that's her real name. So if you're watching this, Carolyn, I'm trying not to say anything that might embarrass you. But I met Carolyn, and I don't remember when I met her, in fact, but from the start of looking to properties to when we closed escrow, it was about a 1-year timeline. And I say that for a lot of reasons, and I'll get to that in a second. But when we first met, Carolyn she had this grand idea of living in this wonderful Victorian style property in Vallejo. She had lived in Vallejo in the past, currently wasn't living there, but wanted to move back into the city, and they have a lot of these just beautiful old Victorian properties. And she thought, wouldn't it be great to live there? Just thought it was going to be spectacular. And we looked at quite a few of them. I certainly had my reservations about her living in a Victorian for a lot of reasons, mostly being a single person dealing with a house that's more than 100 years old, or at least close to 100 years old in some cases, and all the troubles that come with that, the electrical, the plumbing, the foundation, and all of those things certainly made me a little bit nervous, and I did express my concerns to her. I do think that in order to do my job, I have to tell you my opinion, and I certainly have quite a few opinions about things. The idea being, at least you're hearing it from my point of view, and you can take it or leave it. Either way, I'm going to support you. But in the quest to try to find the Victorians, we were really struggling with finding ones that I felt would really do well for her, given its condition, and she agreed. We were also struggling with finding one in the perfect location. Vallejo has incredible neighborhoods, really, really incredible neighborhoods, but the ones that we were finding were too close to a freeway. One was next door to a fire station, a couple of those things. And I was gently pushing her to a different type of property, maybe more of a typical suburban rancher type property built in the 60s, and she wasn't having that. So fine. We just kept looking. Time goes by. So eventually, we go almost a year of looking quite consistently, and realized that, in fact, the Victorian wasn't going to work. Let's go instead look, and decided to try to buy a brand new house in Rio Vista. And after a short period of time, we secured a contract. We were in escrow on a brand new property, but again, I just felt that she could have done better in that particular area by buying an existing house. She could have gotten more house for less money. The builder was charging some premiums for some things that I just felt that, although they were really a great builder, I will say that, really a great builder, just the new houses were going to cost her more, and I ended up talking her into an existing property, and oh my gosh, you should see the one that she got. It was virtually flawless. We couldn't find anything wrong when we did the inspections, and not a single thing, in fact. And it was under her budget, and it was bigger than we ever thought, and it's a single story, and it's really a great property, and so I feel super good about that, and I know she feels really, really great about it. And I say all this because the moral of the story is, oftentimes when you meet somebody and we're trying to look for a property, the original vision can completely alter and end up being something totally different. And that's okay. But the journey along the way, it's important to realize I'm going to support you in whatever you want to do, and nor am I going to push to make a decision. Many agents that I've met, it's unbelievable. It's how much they say, I want my clients to buy because I need to move on and I don't want to waste time with them. It's really stunning to hear that. I just think people need the support, because sometimes, believe me, it happens quickly. Sometimes I meet somebody and we buy a house, and 2 weeks later we're done. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes people really need to think long and hard about where they want to live and the type of house that they want to be in, and I'll support them no matter how long that takes. And in this particular case, it was a year. I've got stories where it was a lot longer, and I've got stories where it was much shorter. But in this particular case, I just wanted to say, wherever you start to look, wherever that road will take you, I'm with you. And for Carolyn, it was amazing. And if I was smart, I'd have a picture of her house, but I didn't do that. I didn't print that out before I went, nor did I go out and stand in front of her property. I didn't feel like doing that today. It was a little rainy outside. Of course, there's the sun. So anyway, my name is Michael Delahanty. I work at Compass, and that's a little story about real estate, and I'm hoping I didn't take too long. But if you want to talk to me about what I could do for you, my contact information will be below.